Jai Shri Krishna, this is Nabi here, and I am replying to Dr. Chitkara's questions he's raised in an email to, I think, Neelam. Neelam has kindly forwarded that email to me some months ago, and unfortunately, I was going to write a reply, but I just never had the chance to do it. So I thought it'd be easier to record an answer because writing takes time and it's a lot easier sometimes just to explain the answers verbally. So, questions. I think this is the first one here. We believe in Sanatana Dharma. What is the difference between Dharma and religion, as it is called in English? Essentially the same thing. Dharma, however, is a lot more wider. Religion refers basically to the relationship between man and God. But dharma actually refers to the inherent quality of the Atma. I'll give you an example. The inherent quality of fire is heat, right? If there was no heat, there would be no meaning to that fire. In the same way, the inherent quality of the Atma is service, is always serving somebody, either the parents or the children or the country or the society or employers, always serving, or if nobody else is there, serving one's own senses. That is the dharma of the soul, service. And how we connect that to Sanatan Dharma is that the Dharma of the soul is Sanatan, it's eternal. Eternal to serve the Supreme Lord. That is its real Dharma. Because it's always serving somebody. But in this world, that serving will not give satisfaction or give us the ultimate realization or satisfaction, connection, if you like, to the Supreme Lord. So dharma is wider than religion, is different as defined. But loosely, we say dharma is equal to religion because it's a lot harder to explain the meaning of dharma compared to religion. That's the first question. The next question, if there is one supreme God, who are Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Shiva, and how do they relate to the one supreme reality? So this is very nicely explained in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says in chapter 10, text number 10, Aham Sarvasvapabhava, I am the origin of both the material and the spiritual worlds. In the Brahma Samhita, another incredible scripture, Lord Brahma says one line many times. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. Govinda, Krishna, is the Adi Purush, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tamaham Bhajami, the person that Lord Brahma himself worships. So, sorry, just need to access. Okay. So, how do they relate? Okay. There is one God, a personality of Godhead. That one God can expand himself many, many times, over and over and over and over. Each expansion is called incarnation or avatar. And each incarnation is as powerful as the original. Many scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavad Puran and the Brahma Samhita explain that Krishna is Adi Purush, the original form of God, from whom all the other forms of God come. Now, of course, there are many Hindu people who believe that Vishnu is the origin. We don't really argue because Vishnu and Krishna are in effect one and the same. They are both supreme forms of the one God. Who is Brahma? Brahma is a living entity like you and me, but very powerful because he has been empowered by the Lord to do the secondary creation. The original creation is by Vishnu, the secondary creation is by Brahma. But he has been given that power by God. He is not God. And who is Shiva? This is a little bit more complex. When Vishnu wants to touch this world, when he wants to activate the jivas in this world and activate the material nature of this world, he transforms into Shiva. So, in one sense, there's no difference between Shiva and Vishnu, one and the same. But in another sense, there is a difference because when you add this material creation to Vishnu, he becomes Shiva. It's a little bit like, and this description is given in the scriptures in the Brahma Samhita, Shiram Yatad Divikara Vishesha Yoga, that it's like milk and yogurt. If we add a curding agent to milk, it becomes yogurt. So Shiva is like this yogurt. The agent is the material world, and the milk is Vishnu or Krishna. Now, milk can be turned into yogurt, but yogurt cannot be turned back into milk. So this is one of the differences of between Shiva and Vishnu. Okay, so he's also known. Shiva is known as Mahadev, chief of the Devatas, right? So he's regarded to be the greatest devotee of God, actually. In the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, it is described, as Shiva is described as the greatest devotee, greatest Vaishnav. Okay, next question. If there are gods, then who are these 33,000 Devi Devatas? It's more than 33,000. I think it's 33, isn't it? 33 crore or something like that. 33 million. Well, they are the administrators of this world. They are not supreme. They are empowered souls who have been given special powers. And anybody can become a devata. We can also in our next life become a devata if we want to. It means we have to do a lot of tapasya, a lot of pious activities. We can go to the heavens and become a devata. But what's the use? Because when the pious activity, the good karma is finished, when the good karma bank account balance comes down to zero, then we come back to earth again to start all over again. So these devatas, they are servants of Vishnu, and they are given special powers to help run the universe. Next question. In the story of Bhagwan, Shiv, and Ganeshji, how is it that Shiv does not recognize his own son and in anger cuts off his head? This is Leela. Shiva is very special personality. And sometimes he may appear to be in illusion, but this is all pastimes. And why did he chop off the head of Ganesh, his own son? Well, he can do that because he can also give him life again. And what he wanted to do was glorify his son. When he got the head of the elephant, he began to be known as Ganesh, and so many devatas came and gave him so many blessings. So much so that Ganesh is the first to be worshipped because he removes any obstacles on our path. So actually the pastime is more of a lila, and it's to glorify his son, Ganesh. If gods are omniscient and beyond human emotions, how should this episode be interpreted? Yes, God is omniscient. Shiva is omniscient because he is aware of past, present, future. And this is, as I said before, he done this lila to glorify his son. There is a narrative in which Brahma and Vishnu argue about who is the greatest. I don't know about that particular narrative, but there is a narrative, there is a pastime of Bhrigu Muni being questioned by the Devatas, who is the greatest? So he said, I will go and test them. He went to Brahma, and he is actually one of the sons of Brahma. When he appeared before the father, he did not bow down to the father, and Brahma became very angry. How dare you be so insolent? Then he went to Lord Shiva, and he insulted Lord Shiva by speaking about how his appearance, how come you're covered in ashes, you know? And Lord Shiva became angry at that comment. Then he went to Lord Vishnu, and he kicked Vishnu on the chest. And Vishnu said to him, oh, he didn't become angry. He said to Bhrigu Muni, I hope your foot is okay because my chest is very hard. So in this way, Bhrigu Muni tested the three of them, and he came back to the demigods and he said that Vishnu is the greatest because he is in total control of himself. And actually, that pastime, just carrying on a little bit more, Lakshmi Devi was present when Bhrigu kicked Vishnu, and she became very upset with Bhrigu, and she cursed him that you are the head of the Brahmins. I curse you to lose all your. I will never come near you. You will never have Lakshmi. You will never have me, because you insulted my Lord. So even to this day, generally you find Brahmins are usually quite poor. Okay, why do such stories depict conflicts among gods in human-like manner? Well, this is sometimes this happens. Even in the Bhagavad Puran, these are all leelas, it's all pastimes. So the Lord is enjoying. It's for His pleasure. In the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a fight between one of Shiva's devotees and Vishnu. And Shiva joins that fight as well against Vishnu. And of course, he gets defeated. Against Krishna, actually. He gets defeated. But this is all Leela. You have to understand that sometimes God likes to have a fight, right? It's a mock fight, like children in the playground. They like to have a tug of war. They have a little fight. So God also likes to have a fight sometimes, but He can't fight anybody in the spiritual world. So when He comes to this world, He enjoys a fight. Sometimes with Shiva, sometimes with gatekeepers of Vaikuntha, who are known as Jay and Vijay. They came as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh, and they also came as Ravan and Kumbhakarna. They also came as Shishupal and Danvattakara. So in this way, Krishna fought or fights with not ordinary people. They're special people. He fights with his devotees. But after the fight is over, the original situation is regained again. It's just a mock fight. Please explain the Shiv Linga in a simple and understandable way, beyond abstract phrases such as eternal creation and regeneration or the union of masculine and feminine principles. An explanation which youngsters can counter when speaking to their Muslim friends in uni who try to make fun of it. I personally am not extremely familiar with the Shivling. All I do understand is that Lord Shiva very kindly takes the form of Shivling so that the devotees are able to worship him in a more intimate way by offering milk and water, giving massage, etc. So that one, I will defer that to more knowledgeable personalities. Why we bathe Shivling with milk and water? Again, it's an act of devotion. It pleases Lord Shiva, so that is the reason why devotees do that. If gods are there, why do they have to take incarnation avatars such as Bhagwan Ram, Bhagwan Krishna? Why can't they sort out things from where they are? Nice question. Um, as I said, they come to this world to perform lila, which some lilas they cannot perform in the spiritual world. For example, the lila of fighting. So, why do they have to take over the such as Bhagavan Ram? The question is, the answer is, why not? They're free to do what they want. They're not limited in any way. They can see. We have become. If we are to understand this, we have to understand what is our situation. We are spirit souls who originally were with God, but somehow we turned against Him due to envy. We wanted to experience the glory that God is experiencing. So for a moment or so, we thought, I wonder what it's like to be God. So He created this world for us to fulfill our desire to become God, if you like. So in this world, everybody is trying to load it over matter, basically. And God is missing us, right? We've forgotten Him, but He's missing us. So He comes to this world often in order to remind us of Himself, in order to give us pastimes, which when we remember, we connect with Him. And I would also say that spiritual knowledge takes time to absorb, internalize, understand, and act upon. Just like in order to become a lawyer or a doctor, it's not that you can have one conversation with a doctor or a lawyer and suddenly you can become a doctor and lawyer. No, you have to spend years studying. So this is the very interesting point that sometimes people look for short and sharp answers. Well, these things take time, you know, and we have to study, we have to learn, we have to have faith, keep faith, increase our faith. It's not going to be, we're not going to gain everything immediately. In this world, there's very little patience or tolerance. But we need those things in order to learn about the science of God. We've learned about the science of medicine or the science of the legal system. But to understand the science of God is far greater requirement of effort. So it's not something that one can gain overnight, just like that. If Bhagwan Ram is God, why did he question or test the purity of Sita Mata? Well, there's a pastime about Sita Mata. When she was kidnapped by Ravan, she crossed the Lakshman Rekha, which had been put in place by Lakshman to protect her. That Lakshman Rekha actually is Agni Dev. And when she crossed that Lakshman Rekha, Agni Dev came and he took the real Sita to the heavens and he replaced her with the imitation Sita. So when the Agni Pariksha was done in Lanka, the Agni Dev brought back the real Sita for Ram, because Ram would not be associated with a false Sita. So the real Sita came. So this is a story which is explained in the scriptures, and it's also explained by the gurus and by the devotees. This is our three sources of information: Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So this is how we understand that pastime. And many things happened actually. How should this episode be understood without undermining divine wisdom and compassion? So, as I said, Ram will not be associated with the false Sita. And Ram was extremely loyal personality and righteous personality. We learn about how to become the ideal human being from Ram. And I suspect a lot of questions may arise from what I am explaining. And absolutely fine. Happy for questions to be asked. But as I said before, there has to be this patience and the faith to understand the answers and to internalize and accept those answers in time. Nobody's saying have blind faith. We don't like blind faith because blind faith can be faith can be destroyed very easily. So but at the same time, there has to be some faith which can be then expanded upon. Okay. Bhagwan Ram is a Bhagwan. If that is the case, why did he need help from Hanuman and his soldiers to conquer Lanka? He didn't need anybody's help. He's God. But what's the fun in that? He wants his devotees to improve. He wants them to connect with him. He wants to have Leela transactions with his devotees. So he didn't just take help from Hanuman. Don't be under any illusion. When Hanuman was picking up those big stones and putting them on the ocean water, there was a little squirrel who was taking little stones and putting them. And Hanuman said, "Hey, little squirrel, please get out of the way. I might trample you because I'm carrying these big boulders." Ramachandra, he noticed that. And he immediately replied to Hanuman, "No, Hanuman. His service is as important as your service. Because he is going to take out the gaps, the little gaps. You're putting the big stones, fantastic. But his service is as important. And he's doing it according to his capacity, fully according to his, and you're doing it fully to your capacity. His service is as important to me as your service." So this is God. This is Ram. He's glorious. So he's giving us the opportunity to serve. He doesn't need our service. Just like the student, the little children in school, what can they do for the teacher? The teacher's always busy. But if they ask the teacher, "Miss, sir, what can I do for you? I can see you're a little busy. What can I do?" But when he asks that question to the teacher becomes very pleased. So in the same way, Ram doesn't need our help. But if we somehow offer him, "My dear Lord, how can I serve you? What can I do for you?" Just like the teacher becomes happy with the little child, God becomes happy with us as well. And that's a good mood to have. What can I do for you, my Lord? How can I please you? Why is Bhagwan Krishna described as having many female companions, gopis, and comparatively very few male friends? No, not true at all. He had an equal number of male friends and female friends. And the thing is, we have to understand that this is God. This is the supreme person. He can do anything he wants. It may feel that this is, immoral, but then who are we to judge who is moral and who is immoral, especially when it comes to divinity? Actually, everything belongs to the Supreme. Everything belongs to the Lord. Now, when Ramachandra came, there were 16,000 sages in the forest who came to him and said, "We would like to have conjugal pastimes with you." And Ramachandra said, "That is not possible in this incarnation because I have taken the vow of one wife. But when I come as Krishna, I will fulfill your desires." So this is the beauty of God. He will fulfill the desire of his devotee, even if it is against his reputation, right? When Krishna came, he fulfilled the desires of every living entity. And it may even go against moral principles. One time, Krishna took a vow, "I will not fight in the battle of Kurukshetra." Right? He made a vow, he made a promise. But he broke his promise. Does a moral man break a promise? No. But he broke his promise. Why did he break his promise? To please his devotee. Bhishma wanted to see the ferocious side of Krishna. So he fought like anything, and Krishna picked up a weapon and he was running towards Bhishma. He broke his promise just to please his devotee. This is Krishna. This is the most extraordinary aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He will fulfill the desire of his devotee. He will please his devotee even if he becomes insulted. He can become, you broke your promise. You got so many girlfriends. Well, in terms of the lady friends or the male friends, well, he is the source of everything. They belong to him. Some people say, oh, he didn't marry them. Well, actually, he did. When Brahma kidnapped all of the cowherd men, cowherd boys, he kidnapped them, Lord Brahma, for a whole year, right? And Krishna expanded himself as every one of those cowherd men, cowherd boys. And in that year, the marriage took place between the gopis and the cowherd boys. But the cowherd boys were Krishna himself anyway. So, in any case, even if they're not married, there's no question of any immorality on the side of God. Right? He can act as he wants. And what may be perceived to be immorality is perhaps our misunderstanding. And we need to understand better. So, next question. What is the deeper spiritual meaning of these relationships? Good. Usually it's interpreted wrongly as girlfriends. Yes, that is wrong. What is the deeper meaning of these relationships? Krishna has a very strong bond with his devotees. Such a strong bond that bond of love is more powerful than God himself. And that's very hard to understand. Radharani is the embodiment of love. And she is more powerful than Krishna because she controls him by her love. So this is the deep spiritual meaning. It's that bond of love is so strong. The devotee will say to Krishna, I want to serve you. Krishna will say to the devotee, I want to serve you. There will be this competition. Who can serve who? And devotee wins because the devotee will say to Krishna, I don't want anything. I just want to serve you. That's all I want to do in my life. So that defeats the Lord, and the Lord becomes very indebted to that devotee, and he becomes under the control of that devotee. So that's the real essence, and that's what I've tried to explain is something extremely, extremely confidential and deep. It takes some time to understand this. Why do we ring the bell upon entering a temple? Nice question. Is this merely ritualistic or does it have deeper symbolic or scientific significance? Excellent question. We ring the bell for many purposes. One is to let the Lord know that we have come to pay our respects to you, my Lord. But more importantly, mandir, we go to mandir. Man means mind, dir means steady, keep the mind fixed. So mandir is somewhere where we're supposed to keep the mind focused on God. So the ringing of the bell, the sound of the bell helps us focus. It's such a nice sound. Ding, you're alert. So when you come to the mandir, you become alert when you ring the bell. Also, it is said that the bell has a sort of a sound like an om. Now, om is the original sound in this, it also represents a sound, also represents God himself. So again, this ringing of the bell helps us remember the Lord, focus on the Lord. That's the reason why. It's not ritualistic. There is a deep symbolic and scientific significance. The science behind that is helps us to control the mind, focus the mind. For youngsters, why do we put tika on our forehead? And why do we tie a sacred thread to our hands? Right. So tika, I've got, I don't know if you can see, I've got a little bit there. Every morning after we shower, we get this tilak clay, is gopi chandan, and we make a paste on our in our hand, palm with water, and we apply it. This is to indicate that we are worshippers of Vishnu. And it's not just in the forehead, it's for 12 different places in our body. And every time we put it on, we say a mantra. Om Keshavaya Nama, Om Narayana Nama, Om Madhavaya Nama, Om Govindaya Nama. We're invoking different names of God. The purpose of this tilak is to praying to God, my dear Lord, I am seeking your protection. I am seeking that you make this body your temple. You come and reside in this body and let me serve you. So there's a huge amount of religious or dharmic significance behind why devotees put tilak. In terms of the sacred thread, that's more for protection. We would like the Lord's protection. And we will often get the priest to tie, often the priest will tie this to our hands. It's a blessing, it's a form of protection. We pray with incense sticks or agarbatti, its significance. Excellent question. Actually, when we do arti, there are many things that are offered in arti. One of them is the dhup. Another is the diya. And then we offer water in a shell, we offer handkerchief, we offer flowers. The purpose, there's two purposes. There's the external purpose, which is we are thanking God. With the incense, we're thanking Him for the air that we breathe, right? He's given us this air. We can't see it. We know it exists, right? Because just because we can't see it, we know it exists because we're breathing. And in the same way, we know God exists, even though we can't see Him because of the great order in this world. Anyway, that's a different question. But when we offer incense, we are thanking Him. My dear Lord, thank you for the air that we breathe. Thank you for allowing me to wake up today due to this air that you provided. And all of those items, the deepa, the reason we offer that, we're thanking God for the light, the sunlight, the sunshine. We're thanking Him for knowledge. Knowledge represents light, darkness represents night, right? So we're thanking Him for knowledge. We're thanking Him for fire with which we cook. We're thanking Him for the fire in our belly. The fire of digestion helps us digest our food. So this purpose of the arti is not ritualistic. It's a time when we give our thanks to God every single day. Not just once, maybe twice or three times. And there's another purpose, the internal purpose, which is, wow. Thank you. There's an internal purpose as well. And the internal purpose is basically we are trying to establish our relationship with God through the Arti process. I won't go into the details because there's a lot of detail there. Why do we worship idols? Well, if you think they're idols, then to you they are idols. But if you think they are deities or murtis who are none different from God themselves, that's what they are. If you have a post box and you put a letter in it, it'll reach its destination. So these deities are post boxes, if you like. You worship them, you're worshiping the Supreme because they are the Supreme. But if you're thinking that it's just a box and you put a letter in that box, that letter's going to stay in that box forever. It's not going to go anywhere because you haven't put it in the post box. So it's a question of mentality, conception, understanding, and realization. The scriptures have descriptions of what God looks like. Venam Kwanantam Maravindam Dalaya Taksham Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Gandapa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. Krishna is described. He's got the color of his skin is like that of a dark monsoon rain cloud, a bluish blackish color. He's holding a flute, Venam Kwanantam. So these descriptions are given. According to those descriptions, murtis are made, pictures are drawn, paintings are painted. If one is thinking they're false, then to that person they are false. You know, that person has no faith. That's the way it is. One who has faith, it will increase their faith as they worship. Slowly, slowly, slowly it'll increase. Okay, so that's where I've answered as all the questions as I could, as much as I could. Please forgive me if I have answered any of the questions in a derogatory way. I don't certainly mean that. I do mean that uh, this spiritual science takes time, years, and I've been learning this for 40 years, and I'm learning new things every day. I read the same verse a few times, and I get more meaning out of it, deeper meanings out of it. It never stops, and it never will stop, because we are very limited, and God is unlimited. So the limited is trying to learn about the unlimited. So it is unlimited knowledge. We will never get to the bottom of everything. And we don't want to either, because we want to always enjoy this knowledge with freshness. It's so fresh. Every day I practice this devotional service, and I've never been bored. It's just the most exciting, most revealing, enjoyable experience that I'm having. So anyway, further questions I'm happy to, take. I hope this helps in some way. Hare Krishna, take care.